Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another episode of the Flash for You King Shark versus Gorilla Grodd review. Um, this was this is an episode that delivers on what it promises you. We get this fight between King Shark and Gorilla Grodd, and it's really nutso, but it's also a heck of a lot of fun. Um, and it does look CGI-wise pretty darn good for the Flash. I mean, this is still a television budget show, but it does look good. It's lots of fun. Um, but there are problems with this episode. The storyline is extraordinarily predictable. I mean, we all knew that this guy was not going to get to continue to be human. Uh, because well, we knew that they were going to fight again, so yeah, no surprise there. And that's basically kind of the story, the drama of this episode demanded. uh, you can see that there's going to be a thing between Earth 2 King Shark and his Earth 1, the Earth 1 version of his wife, and of course it's not going to last, and he's going to do that. He's going to turn back into King Shark to save it. I mean, it's extraordinarily predictable. But predictable isn't always bad. And, if you're thinking about, well, what makes the most dramatic and interesting story, then a lot of times exactly what's going to happen does become a lot more predictable. But again, it's still good to watch, and it's hard not to kind of feel sorry for Shay and his this version of his wife on Earth 1. They really were that close to just having something, kind of real, to putting, well, not their lives back together, but, close enough, right? But at least King Shark has regained some more control of who he is. He's also now a valuable tool against Grodd in the future. Grodd got a significant power upgrade and his crazy little gizmo from the comics, which makes him an even bigger threat coming in the future, especially after he kind of got taken down in a rather embarrassing way recently over on Legends of Tomorrow. One thing that did bother me this episode is when Barry uses the cure on King Shark, and then Caitlin and Cisco get all pissed off at him. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but haven't they agreed that they're going to try to get Cicada to take this cure of his own will, even though, yeah, right, like that's actually going to happen? But here, they're on him for using the cure, Barry for using the cure on King Shark, and Barry points out hey, I did that to save your life, Cisco. What did you want me to do? And Cisco and Caitlin never have an answer to that question. They just yell at Barry some more. They never say, well, Barry, in that situation, what you should have done was this. Then Cisco would not have gotten hurt or killed, and you wouldn't have had to force this cure on King Shark. They never, ever say anything like that, which to me says they don't have an option. They don't have any other real thing that Barry could have done that would have resulted in Cisco not dying. But they're still mad at him. And this is bull. This is utter bull. If they had some other option that they could have reasonably presented Barry and said, Barry, in this situation you should have done this, then I would be okay with that. But they don't. Now they're just complaining. And Barry kind of eventually comes in hey, you guys are right, I want to apologize. What, Barry? You didn't do anything wrong. And this is one thing that really drives me nuts about so much of modern society, is that people will complain about something, and, and there are times when I agree, yeah, this isn't good. But if you ask them, okay, what is our other option? What is the solution that you have for this? And if they don't have anything, if they can't give you something else there, then to my mind, they're just people who are complaining. And I'm sorry, but we have enough complaining in the world. What we don't have enough of are solutions. So yeah, I mean, you can condemn things you think that are morally wrong, but unless you can offer some other solution to a problem, especially if somebody's doing that when there doesn't seem to be a better option on the table, then yeah, how are you making anything better? It's not complaining that changes things. It's having a viable alternative solution to the thing that's not so great. That's what changes things. Anything else is just people, basically just people bitching. And I can't stand that. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have to talk about this episode? Okay, so Jesse L. Martin is back. Of course, in real life, he hurt his back. That's why so much of this earlier season, we had him always sitting in shots, and they kind of, probably they just told him, like, look, man, just go heal. When you're good, come back. And okay, he's back. He has kind of a scene with Iris that, I don't know, I thought was okay, but not particularly interesting. But you know, whatever. It's kind of a chance to sort of show that Joe is back on board with things. He still has things to offer. He still has that great dad wisdom that Barry and Iris and the other people on the show sometimes really need. And that's that bit with Iris in this episode. That does I really did like that. I mean, I guess I sounded a little overly dismissive earlier, but yeah, and I do like that he kind of they did reference Wally here, that we sort of still know what he's doing. Not really sure why Joe would have taken a baby to Tibet, especially like where Wally was hanging out at a monastery. That doesn't really seem like a terribly good place for a baby, but okay, we'll just kind of roll with that. And let's see. Yeah, I think that kind of covers the main things that I have to say about this episode. It is interesting to say that as I'm recording this, today was the day that it was announced that Arrow is going to end after Season 8, which means, of course, that Flash is going to step in as being sort of probably the real tentpole show of the CW verse. And I don't have any worries about that. We've got a great cast here, great show. It's probably also got another 3 seasons or so in it before the actors are going to kind of want to move on to other things. And I don't doubt that they're going to bring folks from Arrow to drop by and guest star from time to time. Although all of this does seem somewhat ominous considering how we're heading towards Crisis on Infinite Earths. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't have any doubt that, you know, when the yearly crossover comes around, at least some of the people from Arrow will probably pop back up. I have a feeling it'll kind of be one of those things like with Stephen Amell, where it's a little bit like John Delancey on the Star Trek show. You know, at least once a season, Q would pop by to cause some trouble, and we'd have that season's Q episode. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it here, so thanks for watching, and always please comment, rate, and subscribe. And until next time, take care and have a good one.